Really sorry, guys. Looks like I was on mute there, so we might go back to the start. 2 seconds. So thank you, guys. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in here. Really appreciate you coming on to watch the final presentations. Special thank you to all the participants for putting in so much effort over the weekend. Really excited to see what you've come up with. So I think we'll just kick straight into it with a quick introduction of our judges. In a minute, I'll bring them up themselves and they can give you a word about each of them themselves. But we've a really great panel here, lots of expertise and a great kind of diverse crew. So the format for this evening is we'll be kicking off with the pitches in just a minute. Each team will have 5 minutes to deliver their presentation, and we'll have a max of 5 minutes for the Q&A afterwards. At the end of the presentations, the judges will have up to 30 minutes to decide on the winner. And then we reckon around 6:30 we'll be back on the live stream here to announce the winner. So these are our judging criteria for the presentations. Each one is weighted equally, and we think it's a really good selection. All the teams have been aware of this and been working towards coming up with a presentation that meets all these criteria for the weekend. And as we've announced previously, we have a €500 prize for the winner. So before we get into the presentations, I guess I'll bring up the judges here and they'll just one by one give a quick introduction. So we'll start with Susie here.
Hi, everybody. Really excited to hear about all the projects you've been working on. Really impressed that you're doing this online because I've never experienced this before. So really excited to hear how you've all got on. Thank you very much for inviting me this evening.
Thanks, Susie. So we'll bring up Owen here next. He'll just give a quick word on himself.
Hi guys, my name is Owen. I'm the founder of a startup company called DeepSeek AI, and I'm also a PhD student in the University of Limerick. So I've done a lot of work around research and also startups. I'm really excited to see the pitches here this evening. They all look absolutely fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it, and well done to the guys for putting this together this evening as well.
Thanks, Owen. So next up we have Tracy Keogh.
Hey Sam, thanks for having me and well done everybody. My name is Tracy. I'm co-founder of an organisation called Grow Remote. We're a social enterprise that run in 130 local communities across multiple countries. I won my first hackathon in 2013 and that set the trajectory for me in terms of startups. So I'm really excited to see how all of you get on today.
Thanks, Tracy. And last but not least, we have Michael here from City, Michael Freeman.
Hi, I'm Michael Freeman. I'm a member of City's Engineering and Architecture Practice Group with a specific focus on site reliability engineering and observability. City, of course, is one of the largest institutions in the world. We're in over 100 countries. We manage over 2 trillion in assets. I'm a keen participant in hackathons myself. It's my first time judging one, so I'm really excited to see what you've all done. And again, congrats on taking part in this, doing it all online. I'm sure it's been a challenge for you all. And Sam, congrats on organising this.
Thanks a lot, Michael. So we'll hear more from our judges after each presentation. They'll have a chance to ask a couple of questions. So I guess we'll get straight into our first team, which is Team 2. And the presenter is Naman Kumar. So I'll bring Naman up here now. And Naman, I'll get your screen up here as well. So if you're ready to present.
Yeah, Sam, can you see my screen? The intro slide of data?
Yeah, we've got it there. So good luck.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good evening. The timer has started, Sam?
Yeah, we'll start now as soon as you get into your first slide.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Team Vendetta, comprising of Aditi Mittal, Harshit Alavadi, and Naman Kumar. We are all students of various international programs at the leading V School in Ireland, UCD Smurfit. I want to take you back in time to 2012. I had a dream. I wanted to be a commercial pilot. I reached out to people over LinkedIn. Across 45 days, I reached out to 50 plus profiles. I had such a low conversion rate that I could only convert 5 profiles, and I started engaging with them. Sadly, I could not find those answers in the very depth that I needed. This was a big problem. I wasted those 45 days. I could not find solutions. I needed a mentor. I needed help because my dreams sadly couldn't take off. and they crash landed. Ironic, right? Because I wanted to be a pilot in the first place. This is what we'll be presenting, introducing Venn data. But let's talk at the problem first. COVID changed the world. It led to reduced opportunities. It led to anxiety. It led to low motivation. As per a survey by the journal, 41.3% of youth in Ireland felt that they were anxious because of the lockdowns. The same problem was with students because they felt the motivation levels going down. And of course, we all know of the unemployment rates, which was 7.3% in Ireland among industry leaders and working professionals. This was all because of a virus that wreaked havoc on the planet. People are in need of help more than ever, and hence, new problems need new solutions. Our solution, introducing Venn data. The word comes from the intersection of Venn diagram and data. The Venn diagram that you see on the screen consists of three elements. Our platform is a holistic mapping solution of profiles among mentees and mentors with an aim to provide mentorship during COVID-19 to individuals. It's a platform wherein mentees, mentors sign up and they can connect to each other in a smart way. If you're wondering how is it smart and different from other unique ways, I'll quickly run you through the USPs of our platform. There are a couple of USPs that we envision to incorporate into Venn data. Even though mentorship platforms exist, mentor and mentee matchmaking is difficult based on objective data. Think of a website. It has a simple profile with text. How can you judge a personality based on text? And more so, if you're browsing through various profiles, isn't it difficult to just retain those text elements? This is where a big problem arises. The first USP that our solution provides is credibility and authenticity of profile. Venn data is different than other mentorship platforms that exist in the market. We do have competitors, but our biggest USP is that we allow participants, which are mentors and mentees, to smartly fill out a video and an audio template that helps mentees connect with individuals. If you're wondering, think of a time when you reached out to someone on LinkedIn and you're fairly confident that they'll be able to help you with a solution. But would you go back in time and would want to watch them present themselves so that you can interact with them better? This is the biggest USP. The second one is behavioral profile mapping. When data collects extensive data, which will be mapped to link mentors and mentees, we just act as matchmakers in a very smart way. We also offer a protected ecosystem. Our filtering mechanism in place will take care of the obscenity and outright harassment, which is rare, by the way, but it happens. All females in the room, I'm very sure they can relate to this problem. The final USP that we are providing is profile relevancy. We know our mentors and mentees much better because we ask them to fill smart forms, we incorporate those video profiles and the audio profiles, and then we connect them both through smart AI-based systems and algorithms. Now you must be thinking, how is it all sustainable? In this short time, running through the data sock events and planning this pitch, we were able to reach out to 27 individuals across UCD and TCD in Dublin. We were surprised at the response rate. 81.4% of them said that they needed help in a smart way and they'd be willing to pay anywhere between 100 to 500 euros, depending on those aspirations. Mind you, that's a big range that you must be wondering, 100 to 500. That is because we incorporate the solutions for youth and industry professionals, which have very different needs. Our monetization strategy is very simple. It's a strategy which is based on a principle so that everyone can win on the portal. We categorize our offerings in three main plans: bronze, silver, and gold. These plans come on various price points, as you can see on the screen. The bronze plan is a payment of 100 euros. Silver plan is a payment of 300 euros, and gold plan is a payment of 500 euros. I'll quickly run you through the details and nitty-gritties of these plans. In the 100 euros bronze plan, a mentee gets 4 sessions of mentors for unlimited time. Under the 300 euro silver plan, a mentee gets 15 sessions and 1 mock interview preparation. And under the final gold, the beloved gold plan. A mentee gets unlimited sessions, unlimited mock interviews, plus CV reviews. Think about that. Isn't that great? We also plan to help the less fortunate. 10% of whatever revenues that we earn through these offerings would be going to a fund which would be used to mentor disadvantaged students who can't afford our fees but are in desperate need of mentorships. What is it in store for mentors, you must be thinking? So our mentors will fall under two buckets. They would be volunteer-based and the ones who would be willing to charge a fee. So a mentor can sign up to the portal and essentially say, hey, I don't need a fee. I'm just here to help. Excellent. But a mentor might want a monetary benefit. So out of the remaining 90%, because remember, 10% went to that cause for supporting students and industry professionals who were disadvantaged. So out of the remaining 90% revenue, we send 70% of the revenue to the people who are helping, who are mentors. This is essentially how our model works. And we pocket 20% revenues and we earn those smart euros. Clever, right? Now, how do we scale the solution? In the coming years, between 3 to 5 years, we plan to link our portal with networking platforms such as Shaper and LinkedIn. We plan to access their entire behemoth presence on social media. We plan to reach out to NGOs and charities because remember, we were helping unprivileged students so we can access their networks and we can scale the solution. We also plan to leverage the networks of alumni within various colleges by tapping that.
I have to ask you to wrap up. You can finish out your slides, but I'm afraid you've gone over time. You can clear up any other points in the questions if that's okay.
That's fine. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Okay. So I'll ask now the judges if you have any questions, just to raise your hand. Okay.
Hey, that was a great presentation. Thank you very much. There's an organization called Biz Mentors, who I just happen to know, and they've been funded across Europe for something like this. And they have an interesting approach to it. But in general, it isn't necessarily a novel idea because mentorship, I suppose, has been with us through the ages, and that's what you're kind of leveraging. But I'm just wondering, what do you think would be your differentiator in terms of the stickiness of your product that will make people use it and make people come back to it? And maybe it's in the team, maybe it's in the product, but what is it that you believe will differentiate you and the product?
That's a good question. Excellent question, actually, Tracy. So I believe the biggest differentiator, I'll quote my own example. When I wanted to be a commercial pilot, I reached out to people over LinkedIn, and I also used some mentorship websites, which were very few back in India in 2005. The essential problem that I faced was that I had to filter profiles which simply pulled up data which was very mechanical. Think about gender, name, location, role. You can't judge a person who will be mentoring you based on these text factors. It is very essential that something as important as mentorship, you incorporate that entire holistic field so that mentor and mentee going forward can connect and they can build a certain bond. This is number one. The second thing is, as I mentioned, I spent around 45 days connecting with people, reaching out to them over mechanical sources. But my turnout was very low. I'm pretty sure if you would have used LinkedIn or other portals, you send messages. It is just like doing a sales and marketing. You don't want to incorporate that mentorship thing into a sales and marketing pitch. Come on. You need mentorship. You don't want to sell out there, right? So I ended up wasting time. It would be smart to incorporate a solution wherein you can see the person, get a sense of how he would mentor you, and you save time. This is essentially what Vendetta is all about. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. Thank you, Naman. Brilliant presentation. So we'll jump onto the next team now.
Thank you.
Team 6. Thank you, Naman. So Team 6, Treble. Their presenter is Sonia. So I'll bring Sonia up here now. And Sonia, I'll just bring your screen on.
Perfect.
And we'll get started as soon as you're ready. Thank you so much.
All right. So first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's been quite amazing this weekend. Hard work, but very productive. So basically, what we managed to come up with is this the problem statement being that under COVID-19, of course, restrictions have been particularly bad on musicians. Looking at, you know, different ways of measuring this, they've like expected around 25% of people in the music industry to be laid off. And that's based off of Gallup. But this is not the first time musicians have been challenged and have been struggling. The music industry is kind of renowned for unstable kind of income, struggling with personal branding, networking, and of course, very expensive tools, instruments, and software. So what is our solution? It will be to create a social media platform that's just more easy and foolproof than other platforms out there. Currently, musicians use a variety of different types of social media platforms to overcome these kind of lackings. So you have the likes of SoundCloud, of Instagram, YouTube, recording apps, which tend to be quite expensive. And all of these are either limited, like SoundCloud is, or they have a very wide kind of audience, but they simply aren't designed for musicians. So this is the design thinking template that we have based our product off of. So we did a little survey as musicians ourselves. We were lucky to know quite a few, and the response for our idea was very, very positive. From the feedback that we got off of our survey, we kind of found out what specifically it is about other apps that are simply insufficient. Main one actually being poor MP3 grade sound quality. So it's kind of, I don't want to get too technical about it, but the MAV variant of this is by far superior. So MP3 in comparison to, you know, better ways of converting and digitizing music would be like Instagram having very, very poor quality pictures when you upload them, which is a big pain for musicians trying to share their music. Now, you could have a big amount of followers, say on Instagram, on Facebook and whatnot. But that's not to say that a lot of them care about your music at all. Like you might have a very large platform, but very little interest. And then of course, the third one being no tools are available to support them. So when you look at the likes of LinkedIn, you can imagine how hard it is for a musician to have any success on LinkedIn, given that, you know, their craft is music and there are no options for that. You're kind of limited to perhaps work experience for professional musicians who already have, you know, been to recording studios or who have an agent. LinkedIn could work a bit better, but kind of breaking into the scene and finding employment, especially for students or semi-professional musicians, has been proven to be very, very tough. Now, where are we planning on going with this? So first of all, it would be an app that's kind of focused on being able to have a safe place for your music and for your covers, for whatever. So be kind of building portfolio and having applications in the app that you can use for higher quality recording, and also a safe place to store your data. What a lot of people don't know is that when you post onto Facebook or Instagram, your music, your data is now owned by that company, by Facebook, and it can be sold off as well. So this is, of course, why most people use SoundCloud. But of course, SoundCloud has their massive limitations as well. So the idea would be, like on Facebook, you would be having different groups specialized in music in your area. You could be collaborating with other users. And hopefully, if we were able to create a user base large enough to be renowned, hopefully that could, you know, be a place for talent scouting and for employment opportunities. How could we be getting money out of this? Would be through ad revenue, like any other social media platform, and potential collaboration with other music-related companies. Of course, a premium account like LinkedIn, very similar, to help musicians build their personal brand. I was in contact with someone who specialized in online ads, and he was very excited about how specific the target market is and how much ads would go for say, instruments, musicians, products. So for financials, it's very hard to kind of summarize, but we thought we'd just put it in there. And this is the viability. What do we need to succeed? We need mentorship, we need funding, and we need a chance to actually be able to realize this. But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sonia. Brilliant presentation. Well done. So I'll just throw it over to the judges now, guys. If you have any questions, again, just throw up your hand and I can bring you up. So no volunteers.
I hope that's a good sign.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Okay, it means you got everything across, I think. Is there anything you'd like to add, Sonia, then, before we wrap up in the Q&A time?
Well, I mean, besides thanking you guys for, of course, given us the platform and potential mentors that might come out of this, we're very excited about our idea, and hopefully we'll be able to carry it further. Or is that Tracy Q? Do you have a question?
Sonia, quick question for you. Couldn't let you go with no question. The business model. I saw Madonna recently invest in something along these lines, so there's a huge need for it in the market, and we know that. Just in terms of the business model, like obviously Spotify used that freemium model, but that's the problem for artists. So how would you work around that?
Pardon?
Sorry. So Spotify used the freemium model.
Yeah.
But isn't that the problem for artists, that it doesn't work for the artists, that it only really works for Spotify? And how do you get around that?
No, the premium model would be for the artists to help them build their brand. So it would more so be with bots and logarithms helping them. So if you, for instance, go onto other music apps, it's all based off of views, such as TikTok. But with our idea, it would more so be, say, with a discover page and whatnot, and to really kind of mentor younger up-and-coming artists that are struggling to break the scene and that are struggling to find employment, and have a place where they can, build a profile and really show what they're made of, instead of other, social networks that have simply been very disappointing for musicians that have kind of been left behind by the Silicon Valley social media moguls.
Super. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hi, Sonia. I just had a quick question as well. It's actually just based around who the users are of this application. So you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking, is this for people who are specifically hiring musicians to come and play at events, or is it for someone who's not really involved in it but might know someone who is, that can come on and look at musicians, enjoy the music, and then pass on a recommendation? And the reason I'm asking that is because I wonder how much of this hiring musicians is synchronous, in that being someone coming along and saying, I need to hire someone for next week, I'm going to have a look here, and how much of it is kind of based on word of mouth through nice stuff they hear from people who say, oh, I listened to this new band, they're local and they're excellent. Yeah. So really the question is who is the users of this app?
Well, of course, I mean, that's what the music industry has been mainly based off, is word of mouth. And this is very tough for people who don't have contacts. For instance, my friend who is in the team, Eric Flaherty, when he was living in Portumna, he was booked, he had to say no to people who had that many bookings. Second, he went up to UCD, nothing. He knew no one, and no one was asking him. So for this app, with the separate stages, primarily it will be a place where it will work like an Instagram or a Visco, where artists can explore with tools that help them with recording, to build a profile, to look at other musicians' profiles, to maybe find someone for accompaniment, to find someone to join your band. And eventually, if we can widen the user base enough, hopefully become renowned enough for people to come and have a look at musicians' profiles, to have a look at what they're about.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks very much.
Okay, thanks for your question.
Brilliant. Thank you, Owen. Thank you, Sonia. So next we will be moving on to Team 7, and our presenter is Abhishek, and he is presenting for AirX. So I will bring him up onto the stream now and just throw up his slides as well. So I'll give him a second to get your slides ready.
Yeah, hi everyone. Are you able to see me?
Yeah, sounds good. So just you pull up your slides there, and we'll.
And you can see my screen, right?
Yeah. Here we are. So
okay, so let me know when we shall start. Shall we start?
Sure. So you can start now.
All right. So hello everyone. My name is Abhishek Tomar, and I would like to thank each one of you here for being here on a Sunday evening. So just to give a background of where we came up with this idea and this problem was that as an Indian student, I live in Limerick along with my teammates here, apart from Robin, who's in UCD. But we were trying to order something from an Indian store, which we cannot find anywhere near our university where we stay. But the problem was that the business that the Indian store person runs is so small in scale that the person does not have a delivery capability. At the same time, we are actually constrained by different levels of restrictions under COVID, because we cannot go beyond a certain point, or the buses are just flying at 25% of the capacity. And I know there are a few people who are traveling because of essential work, but they are not also able to do anything. So we actually studied this, and we saw that 65% of small and medium businesses in the Irish retail industry are not COVID ready, and which are piling up losses of more than 60 to 75% to the impacted retailers. We went further into it. We surveyed a few people. We surveyed small retailers. And what we came up with was that the retailers that we surveyed, they are completely reliant on walk-in customers. And they are actually actively looking to set up online presence and home delivery, because right now their sustainability is in question. Also, when we spoke to the retailers, they are actually trying to avoid public transport, and they are trying to avoid being in in enclosed spaces, even for essential goods shopping. So based on that, we came up with a hyperlocal on-demand platform that supports the unserved local businesses and provides a seamless and hassle-free buying experience by bringing small retailers as well as consumers on a single platform. And how we connect them is through our community-based optimized delivery solution, which is based on our essential workers who are traveling every day from point A to point B for essential work. When we look at the overall opportunity, we studied the retail market in Ireland. There are more than 37,000 retail enterprises, of which 27,000 plus are severely impacted, because either they are non-essential or they do not have the scale of operations to pivot from in-store to home delivery. Also, when we looked at the buying habits of Irish consumers, we saw 50% people shop online, of which 75% sales goes to foreign websites like Amazon. When we looked at the competition, there is Amazon that delivers goods and services but does not cover local stores. And we are actually buying from Amazon UK. We don't even have our own Amazon. When we look at Buy Me, they are just delivering groceries for Lidl and Tesco. And recently they started with Duns as well, but the smaller hyperlocal stores are untouched. Deliveroo also has similar issues where we are not looking at the local retail stores. So we came up with this solution where the person on our left needs medicines. So that person can actually look at options based on map and order based on the prices and different offers. The pharmacist can actually accept the offer and look for a delivery partner. The delivery partner on the extremely right can accept the offer, the order based on his availability and his plan for the day, can go to the pharmacy, collect the order, and deliver the offer to the vulnerable people who are not willing to travel. This is one example that we came up with. We actually created the whole prototype. The benefits here are that the consumers get increased flexibility. They can order from their favorite local stores. Also, they can get the benefit of artificial intelligence, where the we can give them customized recommendations. On retailer side, they can minimize their revenue losses, because nothing can make for the losses that are happening because of people not coming into the stores. But still, they can get more orders which they are currently not getting because of decreased customer mobility. In terms of route to market, we would want to develop a minimum viable product for very few use cases like medicines and apparels to start with. Then we would like to do a pilot in Limerick by signing up retailers, delivery partners, and customers. And we would also like to tie up with local enterprise office because they have a scheme for the small retailers, which is called Trading Online Voucher Program, where they are giving up to 2,500 euros for them to switch to e-commerce platforms and go more, have more technology to provide their goods and services. In terms of financial viability, we'll charge a delivery fees from retailers and consumers. We'll also have a premium subscription where we can charge a monthly amount from businesses and consumers, and we would have sponsored advertisements. The margins there would be 40%.
I have to ask you to wrap up now. You can finish out your
Yeah, I'll wrap up in 20 seconds. Thank you. So we'll have gross margins of 40%, and the overall seed capital required would be 180k euros. And we have an entire business model canvas, which is majorly on delivering anything, anywhere, anytime for unserved retailers. And this is our team. The three of us, Abhishek, Naman, and Asila, are from UL, and Robin is from UCD. We are all analytics and finance students, graduates, and we are really interested in new business ideas. Yeah, thank you very much. And really sorry for taking up about a minute more.
It's all good. Okay, so we have a question here from Michael. So I'll bring you up, Michael.
Really enjoyed your presentation. I think the statistics in particular were extremely fascinating. Did not realize the impact on local businesses in particular. So what exactly is it you're going to provide? I mean, is this focused on enabling local businesses to interact with local customers? You know, if they're missing their footfall and everything now, how does that differ from me going online and looking at something like Just Eat, or you know, Googling myself for a local an Irish business, for example, that can deliver something to me? How is it going to tie in that local factor to where I am right now and how I can help the businesses around me?
All right. So what we are seeing here is that's a very valid question. Actually, this took us a few days to explore what we are looking at. The point is that we are looking at a digital transformation for businesses right now, because the businesses right now, they may have a website. Most of them don't even have websites because of their scale. So what we are looking at is that now the digital transformation is inevitable. So we are your partners, and we have a ready application where we can sign up your business. We'll put your entire items list there, which would take some time, some effort. But once there, you are on our platform where we have a user base, and they can actually browse through various options and select you based on the vicinity, based on the product offerings, and based on the promotions that they're doing. And they can get the goods delivered through community-based delivery partners. So how we are differentiating ourselves is that you don't need to Google and look for various options which cannot be, which are difficult to be compared to each other. Here, they can compare apples with apples instead of comparing apples with oranges. So I hope I've been able to answer that question.
Yeah, thank you.
To some extent, yeah.
Hi, Abhishek. It seems to me like one of the biggest advantages of this platform is that you don't have to keep entering your payment details and your delivery details. So, you know, when you're shopping local, if you're shopping with multiple different providers, you have to keep putting that information in each time. It's very time consuming. So does this platform actually remove that? So you only have to put that in once and it counts for all the small retailers rather than...
Yeah, so we would use the industry best practice that is there. That first time we would do a quick review and assessment of we'll take your details in terms of your address details, your account details. We would authenticate all that for the businesses as well as the consumers. But once done, then you're on the platform. It's just like when you use Free Now, you don't need to put in your details every time. You can just ride the cab, get off, and it will charge your card. So that's how we are going to do it. Because right now what we are looking at is the consumers as well as the businesses. Both are not tech savvy. So we want to make their lives easier and ensure that they have their business continuity.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting model. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. So we'll be moving now on to team 8, and presenting for team 8 is David. So David, I'll bring you up here now. 2 seconds. Hey David, how are you doing?
Hi, yeah, give me a second to share my screen here.
No problem. Yeah, so I'll give you a second there to pull that up.
Oh, shoot, I got the wrong one.
It's all good.
Yeah. All right. All set? Got the timer going?
Yeah, ready when you are.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm David Kubala, and welcome to Picked Out, our sustainable solution to medical waste management. So something that we've been noticing recently is the sheer amount of personal protective equipment that is being improperly discarded since the beginning of the pandemic. By our estimates, about 600 kilograms of PPE is generated for every single COVID-19 patient. In addition to the amount of medical waste being generated by hospitals, there are items that are becoming more and more common as litter in the general public, these single-use N95 masks. Hospitals have efficient methods of waste disposal, but the general public dispose of these masks however is most convenient. These potentially contaminated, uncontrolled masks are a vector of transmission for COVID and are typically just mixed in with other waste products. The excess in PPE waste has affected available sustainable waste management supply chains significantly, which can cause improper handling of uncontrolled medical waste equipment, as well as excessive use of land sites like landfills. We plan to use optical recognition technology to tackle this problem. Our prototype, pictured here, currently tracks loose PPE masks as a whole, but can be tuned to instead recognize a reflective sticker attached to the mask, something that we can sell. Computer vision and convolutional neural networks can be an efficient method to identify loose PPE that's been mixed in with general waste, and once it's identified, it can be managed. The team's suggested solution focuses on implementing the use of optical technology in off-site waste management centers, identifying masks in loose waste. Given the chance to collaborate with a waste management firm, Picked Out can be easily and effectively introduced into numerous waste supply management chains. The machine learning system we propose would lead to a reduction in the required human labor at stage 2 of the process. With this method, we aim to reduce chances of cross-contamination and mishandling of medical equipment when it comes to the COVID-19 pandemic. We provide the optical recognition software to businesses to detect masks of our branding in the general waste stream. We would intend to sell these masks at corner shops and these mask clips at corner shops and grocery stores around Ireland, and mask comfort will be an incentive for consumers to purchase the clips. Each clip would come with a set of stickers that can be used for optical identification in the waste management process. Our target market is people who want to make a sustainable difference in pollution from PPE and business-to-business marketing through waste management companies. We intend on collaboration with local Irish businesses, waste management businesses, and collaboration with the local Irish mask producers. It's also possible to attempt some collaboration with the Irish government in forms of subsidies. So we want to have a reduction of the amount of money that hospitals spend, but we're not really quite working towards the hospital angle. So instead, we're angling towards giving people an incentive to wear mask clips. And with these mask clips, we provide a set of stickers that can be used later in the identification process. This will ultimately promote correct disposal methods for medical equipment and an environmental edge. As for our financials, we look at a revenue stream coming from the sticker deck that comes with the purchase of your mask clip. The cost to consumer would typically be pretty low, less than $3 per package of stickers, and the clip can be reusable, which is another great way to be environmentally conscious. As for covering our operating costs, it would be easily scalable based on the number of masks with clips sold, and it's possible to collaborate with the Irish government on this as well, with a government levy of €75 per ton of matter that is kind of handed over to the Irish government. So further than our current understanding of the market, we intend to seek out collaborations with mask suppliers. Additionally, we may be able to work our way up the supply chain to manufacturers. Additionally, the Irish government may put out regulations such that any mask being sold and disposed of have a vibrant color that is easily disposable. The pandemic, though it feels like it's lasting forever, will eventually come to an end. We believe that optical recognition can still provide solutions in waste management after the pandemic ends. With some government regulation, waste products could include a small patch of color to identify the type of waste, allowing for it to be managed more effectively. As for our team, we have Adam Al-Yusafi, who is a mechanical engineer and master's program at UCD, Ayush Sharma, who's a third-year computer science student at UCD, and myself, David Kubala, a third-year computer science student at Trinity College Dublin. As for our mentors, we have talked to Mary Cronin from the Upthink Innovation Agency, Dr. Roisin Lyons from an assistant professor in entrepreneurship from the DCU Business School, and Colin Keogh, co-founder of the Rapid Foundation. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll now open the floor for any questions.
Brilliant, well done. Thanks, David. So
No
judges, if you have a question, I'll ask you to raise your hand now. Here we go with a question from Owen.
Hey, David. Really like the presentation. I suppose coming from a PhD where I'm looking at computer vision as well, really stoked my interest. So yeah, the question I had was, why do the stickers and the clips? I'm just wondering, is that just to capture some revenue from the market, or is it to try and make your computer vision models easier? I know you probably could overfit it and say, okay, if I see this color at this radius size of a circle, I can say for sure that's that part of that PP equipment.
Right.
But what's the reasoning?
So the reasoning for the stickers is to kind of help and assist with that kind of OCR, that optical recognition. Once it's kind of mixed in with a lot of different types of waste, we want to be able to kind of recognize those particular stickers rather than just recognizing, say, red objects.
Yeah, I could see how that could be slightly an issue, because if you had kind of a crumpled up mask, or if you had different types of brands of masks, or the sticker was underneath as it moved along the supply chain, you might miss out on those.
Right.
So would it be a better idea to just learn to see different types of masks, train it on the mask in general, rather than overfitting onto the little stickers?
Right. So what we propose from a more technical point of view, we propose a system that would first use use OpenCV with Python to kind of detect where red things are in the image, right?
Okay.
And then further than that, we would take that information to feed to a feed-forward convolutional neural network that would be able to kind of detect a specific branding on our sticker and say definitively whether or not that was a sticker that we produced, rather than just kind of leaving it at it's just a red sticker.
Okay, great. Yeah. That answered. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Okay, is there any more questions from the judges? Okay, so it looks like that's the end of the questions. David, is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, I just look forward to reducing mask waste as much as I can. I know how much I hate seeing those littered masks out in the streets. Yeah.
Good man.
All right,
okay.
Great.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time, and I look forward to talking to you later. Adios.
Thanks, David. Okay, so next up we have Team 10. Team 10 has a product called Do Together, and presenting for Team 10 is Conal Whelan. So I'll bring Conal up now. How are you, Conal?
Hey.
So we'll let you get started now as soon as you're ready.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Conal, and my teammate is Abhishek. We noticed the problem that students, in particular first-year students, are facing as a result of the pandemic. Zoom calls with lecturers or in tutorial groups are not an effective way of meeting new people. We thought about the Irish market in particular and how Irish students are very shy when it comes to speaking up on a Zoom call. The current solution would be communicating sorry, I forgot to click the slides. The current solution would be communicating to students through lengthy emails or using social platforms for students to talk to one another. We went out and did some market research and discovered that 68% of students do not engage well with current university event communications. 90% feel the current social platforms are not sufficient when trying to make new friends at university. 93% would love to meet new friends with similar interests through a university social app. Introducing UniClub, an app for all your social communications on campus. We pinpointed where students make new friends and looked at bringing those to the digital world, be it societies, clubs, other interest groups, or purely by meeting someone who sat next to you in a lecture theatre. This is what we came up with, a matchmaking service for meeting new friends with similar interests at your university. Event suggestions tailored to individuals for better engagement, be it at your university or Google Maps location suggestions. The app would double as a means of announcing SU events and general university notifications. We did some research into market size and found that ITs across Ireland have been given €24.5 million towards digitalisation and enhancing technological infrastructure. Recently, there has been a huge increase in demand for this due to online learning. We propose to sell our product directly to universities and charge on a per member basis. This seems more reasonable as all universities are different sizes. We would expect an 80% engagement rate among students, meaning the total active users for Ireland would be 182,000. If the price per student was €5, then we would expect a revenue of 910,000. We believe there is potential for yearly maintenance charges, and also there will be new members each year due to the incoming first years. Our route to market will be to contact universities and pitch to them our idea of being a social communications channel for students. We looked at some competitors that many students will currently use and found that each one of them was missing something that UniClub could offer. We pulled together parts from the individual social platforms in order to come up with UniClub. We liked the idea of making new friends online like Bumble BFF, but wanted to make it in a group chat format to take away the pressure that one-on-one messaging might have. We also wanted to match students more accurately, so you find a person that that you're interested in quicker. So this would be your initial login stage, and then you'd go in and put in your basic interests and clubs and societies you'd be in college, and clubs and societies would then be cross-referenced with your membership fee, which would be paid to the clubs individually. And there'd be drop-down menus in each one of these. And then once you go into the main platform, you'd have to your right all of the active users that you match with, and to the top you'd have a student union announcement bar. And then you'd have the 4 different sections, so clubs, societies, general, and then an option that we added at the end, which would be randomized. So if you just wanted to go into a group of 20 random people and maybe play a game together or something, it would put you into a random group. And that would all be based off your interests and your clubs and societies that, and then once you click into, say, your athletics club that you're in, you'd go into this screen and there'd be a calendar of upcoming events and suggestions, and then just a general group chat, as well as active users, which you can message individually to your right. So basically, we hope to pilot the app in our own university, and then by year 2, we've implemented the service into 50% of campuses around Ireland. In year 4, we would look to expanding into other European countries. So this is a rough breakdown of the costs involved in developing the app, along with the total figure that would be a substantial investment to cover all of Irish operations. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have some questions.
Thanks, Michael. So now I'll ask the judges if you have a question. So we have first one here from Michael.
Hi, I think this is great. I think anything that can bring people together in this time. I think a lot of students in particular are feeling quite isolated. So anything you can do, particularly at a kind of university level, is great to see. Of course, when we look at these type of social platforms, the biggest thing that comes to mind in my mind is often privacy. So how will you maintain the privacy of the people who are in this platform?
Yeah, so that was an issue that we thought of, that like group chats. Obviously, there's been scandals in the past in like Trinity and stuff where like clubs would have a group chat and there'd be just inappropriate stuff sent into it. So we thought that like it would almost be better if the university could regulate it themselves, so they could have control over all of the group chats with all of the societies and colleges. So I think that and the clubs, so I think that would actually be a positive for them. But in terms of regulation, then I suppose we could look at putting a plugin into it, which would be like recognizing inappropriate behavior within the group chats. There's already, I know, technology out there for that. So I suppose we could look into something like that.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks. So if we have any more questions from the judges, just put your hand up. Yeah, we've one here from Susie.
Yes, it's a great idea for getting people together and connected. How does it work for people who are not yet members of the club? Maybe they've just, any of the clubs, because they've just started the university and they're not quite sure which clubs might interest them.
Yeah, so I suppose the clubs and societies would have their individual pages as well. I think like as in like, because when you go to university, you'd have a freshers week, which now is online. So that's where I suppose the club is sold to them. But then this comes at a later stage where once you're in the club, you can start communicating with each other. But clubs and societies would just be a part of it. But then just meeting new people within that university would be something you could do straight away, I suppose, before you even join a club or society. And yeah, it can be based off interests. So it could be like, say, you put in yoga, you like Chinese food, whatever, and then it would match within that, and you'd have various group chats. Or else you can go random and meet some random people, and you can also message people individually as well if a group chat doesn't suit you.
Could you even set it up before somebody started university if they've accepted a place?
Yeah, exactly. Like as soon as they get a student number, I suppose, because that's the most important way to cross-reference it.
Okay, because that could be a good way of helping people transition to university.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susie. I think we have time for one more question, one more quick one if anyone else has one. If not, we can, Conal, is there anything you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I think that's everything. Thanks very much, everybody.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Conal. So next up we have Team 13, and presenting for Team 13 is Simon. So I'll bring Simon up right now. Here we go. And
Hi guys,
Simon, I'll bring your slides up here too.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much to DataTalk for
so I'll let you.
Thank you.
No problem. So we'll let you get started now whenever you're ready.
Thank you, and well done to everyone else who's presented already. I've really enjoyed everyone's presentations. So the issue we decided to tackle was that since the coronavirus restrictions came in nearly a year ago now, it's been really difficult for college students to socialize. There have been a lot of issues for a lot of people, but for college students, the whole aspect of socializing regularly with their friends, people they don't know, people in college, has been completely removed, and there hasn't really been any substitution. Normally you'd go into college, you'd meet people after lectures, run into random people in your course, and you'd help each other to, talk about deadlines, talk about how to approach assignments, lectures that maybe aren't treating people very fairly, how to get around things. So our app would act as a software plugin to university websites, so that people within the same course groups or years, or just within the same school, could talk to each other, make new friends, make connections, and help support each other. So that's our vision statement. It is to help people make meaningful connections within their colleges, and also to facilitate easy access to get counselling services within the universities. Because as we all know, there's been an influx of people trying to get into counselling, and this will help streamline the process of that. But primarily, it'll be a making friends platform within your own university, which is particularly hard for people, say, in first year at the moment who don't know anyone in their course, because they don't get the chance to randomly run into people in the hallways after classes, things like that. So in order to validate our approach to this, we did a survey with 30 university students. We asked them a variety of questions, and these brought up pain points that are currently in their lives. The primary complaint that people had when we asked them, what is the biggest thing that's frustrating you about your current college experience? People said that they weren't socializing enough. People said they didn't have contact with their course. They weren't meeting friends, and there was no collaboration or discussion. They weren't having that contact with their course that they crave, that people need to have in college. And such a huge number, 83%, as you see at the top right there, said they're finding it difficult to make friends. That's a grossly large number, and that is why we are bringing this app in. And 76% of people said that they'd be comfortable using our app to do that. Our app would be a video-based app where people could go on and talk to people in groups that are in their course. So from all the data that we gathered, we just summarized it into one simple problem statement, and that is that people are lacking social outlets within college, and the college students use each other as a support system. Earlier, I forgot the number now. 86% of people said that in college, their primary support system is their friends. And if you're new to college and you don't have that many friends going in, if you're not making friends, you don't have that support system there, and that is a big issue. So our plugin would help people in 3 ways. As I said earlier, it's a digital space to meet people from your course. It allows easy access to the college's existing counselling services, and it allows you to build your support network within your course, within your year group, within your school. So again, this is just to visualize the data. This is when we ask people would they be comfortable using our services, this graph here. As you can see on the left, the majority of people said they would be comfortable, which is great for us. Now, there's no direct competition, I guess, before the last presentation, but from comparable companies that we could analyze or that we could find that had similarities, it was generally onboarding software and Zoom. These 2 main onboarding softwares, Bamboo and Onboarder, are both great, and they make new hires feel welcome within companies, and they have all kinds of scheduling and general HR management tools. Our benefit over those would be that we're streamlining any functionality of those websites. This is a student-oriented service, and it's a video-based service. It has 2 functions, and therefore we can be competitively priced, and it's just an easier, more accessible version. And then Zoom obviously is great as well, and it's widely used across the world, but it doesn't allow people to meet people. You have to either know someone, or you have to have someone set up a call between people. So our business model, it can be a plug-in to existing university websites, and we're going to have to pitch to universities rather than to the students themselves. And we think the students' needs will be the university's needs, which will make them want to buy our product. And the influx of students into therapy at the moment means that people's mental health is not being taken care of, and we hope that the universities will see that. The universities pay a flat rate based on the number of students within their college. And like I said earlier, we'll be able to be competitively priced. So this is the format of the plugin. As you see the homepage here, it's organized into years on the left at the top and programs just underneath. So you filter the groups in that way. And then if there's a large amount of people, there'll be a larger amount of groups to choose from. This here is what it would look like in the call. As you see your screen on the left and the people you're talking to on the right, and you have the option obviously to add them as connections should you get on, help build your network. And then this here finally shows you if you do need to reach out, if you're feeling anxious or stressed or overwhelmed, you can reach out to a counselor in the bottom right and put in your query there. So this is our roadmap. Obviously, across the weekend, we've identified the problem. We've moved all the way up to the logo and design, and moving forward, it would be focusing on marketing, focusing on talking to universities and seeing what the kind of interest is there, and then hopefully moving forward in the future, this can be used to garner a greater social aspect of many large companies or even startups that have onboarding software, maybe don't have this kind of specific social onboarding software. So my name is Simon, and my partner Gail was a great help during this, and we had a great time making it. So thank you so much.
Great job, Simon. Thanks a lot for your presentation. So we'll go over to the judges now, guys. If you have some questions, just raise your hands. So this is the last presentation for today. I'll just pull up this here. Great job, Simon. So guys, if you have a question, just throw up your hand and we'll bring you up. Okay, we have a question here from Owen.
Hi, Simon. Really well done. I think you're onto something here with supporting students in college. Especially when I'm teaching first years now this year, I noticed that a lot of them aren't interacting with each other. And I think what's really smart is to plug in to college websites that already exist, because all these students are pre-set up and you can just work with that user pool then. I think one of the big things is the support rather than the socializing. I think the socializing is nice, but I think people will naturally migrate to platforms they're more familiar with, like Snapchat and Messenger, once they get to know each other. But I think you really found a nice little niche here with the counseling and the support networks built into the existing college websites. Yeah, I thought it was excellent. So how do you think you could get people to get talking within these rooms? So say I'm online, I'm looking at a couple of different assignments, and I see one of my classmates is online. Do you think you could set up maybe some asynchronous calls so they can chat to each other just while they're online with each other?
Yeah, well, we hoped obviously that it would be organic, just like when you run into someone in college and you get talking to them and you hit it off. But obviously, if that wasn't the case and things were a bit stagnant, things were awkward in these chat rooms, we could have people come in as moderators maybe, and do a few icebreaker games, or maybe just introduce features where people can go in and play games like Scrabble, Fun with Friends, or Among Us, or something like that, just to get people talking. But we were hoping that because we'd be in universities and there'd be a critical mass of people, that there'd be enough people going in that any awkwardness could kind of be dealt with just by sheer mass of people.
Excellent, great idea. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Owen. So if there's any more questions, again, just throw up your hand. If not, is there anything you'd like to add, Simon?
No, that's it for me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's it from Team 13. Thanks, Simon. So I think that is actually the end of our presentations for today. Thank you again to all the teams. Fantastic work. It was really, really cool to see what you've come up with over these past few days. I think the sheer volume of work that you completed was, it's incredibly impressive. So really pat yourself on the back for all that work that you got done. So we'll take a quick break now for about 30 minutes. We'll be back at 6:30. In the meantime, the judges will be hopping on a Zoom call to deliberate, and they'll get back to us soon with a winner. So I'll ask all the participants to please jump into the Discord, and we'll have a bit of a discussion going there. And thank you again to all of our judges. Really fantastic job. So thank you, everybody. Hello, everybody. So we will be getting started in just a minute. So the judges have done a fantastic job with the judging, as they should. So I suppose Tracy, I might bring you up now for just before we announce the winner, just to give a quick word on behalf of the judges.
Thanks. So thanks a million, everybody, for having us, and thanks to the guys who organised this. We were just saying, like, you've done really good work, so fair play to you. Just to give a little bit of perspective for this weekend, a lot of people spend their weekends like not getting off the couch, complaining about COVID, all those things. All of you got together and took action to solve for a lot of the challenges that we're having now. So just use that as your benchmark for how well you did. And just I was thinking my own story from hackathons. I didn't win one year. But from that, I stayed in touch with people that I've met, mentors, other people within who are doing the hackathon. And I got my dream job at the time running Bank of Ireland's first technology incubator. And for me, that was really cool. So it really just is not about winning. It really isn't, I promise. And just leverage what you can, I guess, from the event and from the great work that you did. Just to let you know, if we had more time, we would have taken it, because there was a healthy debate happening in that judging room. It was so tight. But overall, it was great to see two things. Again, perspective. People fear speaking publicly over death, right? So well done on great presentations all across the board. And secondly, just on the level of action and execution that you took over the weekend. For me as a founder, taking action, a bias for action is what gets you half the way there. So from that perspective, well done, and just well done, and keep it in perspective. If you didn't come in first, second, third, or whatever other numbers there are, there's a long journey ahead. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, guys, so we'll move on to the next slide here, and we'll announce who the winner is. So again, please bear in mind, like Tracy said, hackathons are absolutely not about winning. Only one team wins. All the other teams who took part, you've gained so much over the weekend. You've met so many mentors. You've met all these other participants, and please remember that that's what's important. So the winner of DataSoc's first innovation weekend is Team 8, picked out. Team 8 developed a system for recycling masks and a really cool data visualization machine vision project. So I think a fantastic job they did there. The judges really loved it. And like Tracy said, it was a really close selection in the end. The points were neck and neck. So we just want to give a special mention to the runners up, who are Speak Freely, Team 13, with Gail and Simon, and Team 6, Treble, with Sonia, Anna, and Eric. So a special shout out to you guys. You did a really fantastic job. But of course, our winner for the weekend is Team 8. So we will be in contact with you soon about the prize. But all of the other participants, again, fantastic job. You did such a great, massive amount of work over the weekend. So really big pat on the back for everything you achieved. And then I'd just like to special shout out to our sponsors for the weekend, City. They made this possible. So really big shout out to them. And of course, Michael, who was representing City this weekend. And yeah, so I guess that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for everything you did over the weekend. I really hope it was an enjoyable experience. Thank you to all of our mentors, our judges, facilitators, volunteers for the weekend, and especially the organizers of the weekend, Raina and Ulton and Jenny. They did such a fantastic job putting this together. So real round of applause for them. Thanks, guys.